All right, here we go. Um, yeah, I thought I'd do another video. So basically, I have it all running. It's kind of, honestly, there's quite a few tweaks on this thing I'd like to do. That's one of them right there. So the rotation motor, it's just too slow, and I find I'm having a really hard time to try and get it to go across without like rotate around without skipping, and it does pretty good. But you even saw there, if you look really carefully, when I first fired it up, the first tooth it went, or the first mesh of pinion and spur it went over, it skipped one. So it's okay like that, but as soon as I put a little bit of weight in the bucket and I tip it out and get a bit of weight kind of tipping down this way, I think it kind of pulls the gear away a little bit. It's probably minute. I did load the bottom back end with lead, like I just as much as I could put in there to kind of try and tip it a little bit back down. Um, but I honestly think that it's a bit of that, and I think the motor's too slow. And I think honestly it just doesn't have enough oomph behind it. Anyways, I've ordered a 60 RPM a couple of days ago, and I'm going to swap it out and put a 60 RPM motor in there because it's just a little bit on the slow side, anyways. And see, it skips a little bit there. And I think that when you think about maybe having some weight on the bucket, I mean, there's not even any weight in there right now, so even weightless, it skips over one gear, and it's just annoying. But I think when you think about, I've got a slip ring in there as well, all those wires and everything. Um, I don't think it's. I don't know. I'm not sure honestly. I think if you combine like maybe all the frictions that are in there, and then too slow a moving motor, I think it just is struggling um, to spin around, and I think that's what's causing it to skip out. Is that there's just a lot of friction in there potentially, and then it's just not fast enough of a motor, and so it skips over the one tooth every so often, and it's just kind of irritating because yeah, I don't want that. So yeah, I got that to sort out still. I did do one thing with the tracks this morning already. I'll see if I can spin it around just so you can see. Um, so I got in the back here for a pretty long time. I I had these little pieces from the mold that were kind of covering just the top section of the motor, and I dremeled them and dremeled them and dremeled them, and I tried so much to keep them in there just to give a little extra added thickness of material around there, and it was causing the motors to kick down too much to the point where they were just becoming oblong and spinning out of control and stuff, and maybe not spinning out of control, but just spinning obtuse. I don't know if that's the word. Just not nice and circular. So I finally went this morning and I cut those pieces off, and it helped to get the motors sorted out so that they're moving now. So they're 52 RPM motors, and I didn't build this thing for speed, and it's not fast. I don't really care. It's an excavator. I don't want it to go ripping fast anyways. So I'm fine with that. So yeah, I got that sorted out now. I have basically one of the things I don't have sorted out is I'm still waiting for the. This is right now. It's just a 6 volt reverse style worm gear motor I got in there, and so obviously this is all 12 volt now. So I ordered a 12 volt motor, which I've been waiting for. Should be on its way, but I just used this 6 volt RPM motor just to model a piece to design an actuator. So I'm still waiting for the motor to show up, but I have my wiring right here, run and ready to go. So that's all hooked up. I have an auxiliary function right here, which is just sitting like that for now. I'll have to decide once I work out these little bugs and stuff what I'm gonna do. I have an idea. Honestly, I really would like to be able to lift a lock block with this excavator, so I can use it for just for stacking blocks and stuff like that. Excuse me. We'll see how that goes. It might work out. It might not. But either way, I have the option for a function on there. And so yeah, basically, I kind of have everything sort of labeled on here too. Like this is my grade blade function on a 3-pole switch here. So going up will bring it up, and then moving it down will move it down. I do have a motor for the articulation, and that's another one that's too slow. So I didn't really know. I kind of went off what I'd done in the past with my other excavator and my Brutus Schaff that has a 30 RPM motor for the rotation, and that was a good speed for that one. But for this one, it's just too slow, and so I've got a 12 volt 60 RPM motor coming for that. And then I do have, I just don't have it hooked up right now, so I should have hooked up before I started filming. But I'll see if I can just spin it around. You can see. So I've got this guy right here for that, and it's also just too slow. So that was also a 30 RPM motor. Again, I just didn't know what speed I should get. I just thought maybe 30 RPM would be fast enough, but it's kind of too slow for my liking. So I've got a 60 RPM that's going to get put into that as well. So I ordered 2 of those. But this is the function for that one right here. So I just lift it up and it pushes it towards the cab. And then, as you can see, it's a little bit on the slow side for my liking. But it works. It does work like nicely, and it's articulating good, which I'm happy about. I'll try and set that up in front of the camera a little better. Maybe you can see that. And then when you bring it back towards yourself, it pulls the motor back, or pulls the boom back in. And even on the real ones, I was working with an operator the other day, and I asked him if he could swing one, because we had, like, it was just a Cat 306, but it's a similar one. And I asked him if he could move the boom around for me so I could have an idea of how much it actually goes. And they do swing a lot closer to the cab than they do the opposing direction. So I get a better movement on that side towards the cab than I do on the other side. So, but they don't really go too much further over. I mean, honestly, I could almost have set it back and have this go back a little bit just to get a little bit more, but I think I'm okay with it. And so what else have I got there? Yeah, the biggest thing on this now is just to get the get the motors sorted out for the articulation of the boom. And here, maybe we'll try this way. Dead center will kind of give a better view of it. So pushing away, I'll move it towards the cab. But I just think it could be a little bit faster than that. It's not bad, but again, it's nice to be able to move it a little bit quicker. So that's about max right there. And then if I bring it the other way, it moves it. And then I got to keep an eye on that one, because and then it goes to about there. So it's not a lot, but that's about max right there. So that's how much that goes there. So yeah, I got that one going. And then again, like, the biggest thing really will be, it's just too slow. It's just not moving fast enough for my liking. And I think it just doesn't have enough oomph to kind of get itself over the resistance it's got to come through with the slip ring and all the wiring in the middle and stuff. So, and it is moving, but yeah, I don't want it to be skipping. As soon as you put weight into it, you start to see, like, I can even take maybe this without knocking the camera over. Let's just see. I'm shaky handed, so I got this piece of mortar that I made supposed to be a little parking barricade, but we'll see how this does. So I start putting a bit of weight into it, and I'll try and really, push it away, and then you can see it'll start to skip a bit, and it has a hard time. Let's see, it's skipping right there, and I'm not happy with that. So I need something that's got a little bit more gum 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 oomfa oomfa in it. There's another thing I'm kind of like wondering about, and I'm not. It's not the end of the world, but yeah. See, I got to sort that out. It's really having a hard time when I got some weight in there to be able to move around. So that's going to be an issue to sort out. So faster moving motor, I think, will help out with that. Just I don't even just move a little bit faster, but just something that's got a little bit more umph in it is the word, the professional technical term I'm looking for is umph. So you got that. I put pins in the sprockets yesterday, and so that's all sorted out now. Yeah. Oh, two other things I was going to say. So the actuators I made, I like them. The motors I'm using are motors that I was shipped to. They were shipped to me by AliExpress when they made a mistake and they gave me 12 volt 400 RPM motors. They're supposed to be 6 volt 400s at the time for my shave, so I hung on to them, and that's what I ended up using. And I think they're just a little bit on the quick side, but they work and they'll lift her and stuff like that. So I'm happy with it, but I'm almost kind of wondering if I should maybe try and slow them down a little bit. I don't even know if 12 volt 200 might be too slow, but they're pretty rapid. And you know, the comment kind of gets made a lot. Oh, just turn the endpoints down. Well, yeah, but to a point. So I don't know. Maybe there's something I don't know, but I don't think so. That when I turn the endpoints down, if I bring them down to like 10 or 15%, that's when I start to notice the reduction in the speed. But it just automatically loses the ability to actually lift anything when I slow it down. So it just is impractical to slow them down to the point where I can't use it. So slowing endpoints down works for certain things. Like it certainly works on my 906 loader when I slow the wheels down by reducing the endpoints, and it gives it a bit more of a slower speed, and it gives it some nice, it's just a nice, more reasonable, realistic speed. But when I start messing around with things like bucket booms and trying to lift stuff, slowing endpoints down doesn't really work that great. It can, I guess, but not on this. So anyways, I might just look at ordering some different ones a little bit later on down the road and swapping them out and playing around with some different speeds and just see what 12 volt 200 RPM looks like, because it's nice to just have a little bit more of a smoother control over it rather than just be so quick. And actually I did slow the endpoints down on the main boom motor there. I slowed that right down, and it's when I jacked it up to 120, it's like insanely fast. But the other one, I swear they kind of behave differently too. Like the second boom, I think it's the jib they call it maybe, or something, or the crowd cylinder. That one just is a bit different than the other one. So yeah, they're all like, not the motors, but just how they act when you slow the speeds down on them. So anyways, I'm happy with it right now, but I might try and play around with getting some slower ones down, just to smooth it a bit. And then the other thing I was going to talk about, which I made a decision, had to make an executive decision on that. I'm going to trim the wires back too, by the way. Just if anybody saw that and was thinking what I'm asked. Well, yeah, no kidding. I'm making it still. It's a process. I don't really get into ironing the details out until I'm fully ready to get there. So I made an executive decision the other day when I was working on this thing that I really thought some extra access would be nice on it. So I decided to cut an access on the side here, and I'm really actually glad I did, because it made it a lot easier to access things and put this thing together. So I got all my ESCs and everything stuffed on the side there. So I'm actually going to put some hinges on that, and that'll be able to close and open. But for right now, I just have that like that, which is nice. And it's just an absolute rat's nest in there, but whatever. Whatever. I'm not as good as some people, I guess, that can really do things nicely. Anyway, so I got that like that, and so that'll be something that'll be closed up down the road. And then I just gotta tuck the main power supply in as well, just so I can plug it and unplug it. And yeah, and there we go. So that's where I'm at with the thing right now. Just to get that rotation motor up to a little bit quicker will be nice, and I'm hoping in turn it's going to take care of that skipping. Because yeah, I don't want it skipping. So yeah, anything else? Oh yeah, I'm gonna paint the cylinders black once it's all done. So that'll be another nice little detail. I think it's gonna go a long way with it. Kind of make it look a little bit nicer and a little bit more, yeah, just a bit of a nicer overall finished looking product. And then also too, I was going to put heat shrink on the motors in the back, but I think I'm just going to paint them black as well. And then that'll take care of that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, other than just getting that rotation motor sorted out and just a bit of a faster motor for the articulation. It's been a really fun model to convert, and I really like it. It's like, it's got a nice one actually. It's got a nice bit of room in it. Was able to fit everything in. I didn't have too much difficulty with anything. I think kind of the biggest things I sort of figured with it was just the rotation motors actually just kind of been giving me a little bit of grief with just meshing it up and all that. But it's, you know, it's just building, working, figuring things out. So yeah, be nice to get the bucket going, because I can't really dig with it when the bucket's not working. It's just doesn't really work so good. So, but it's got to get a little bit of push power when you have some dirt in front of the grade blade too, which is nice. We can grade down some material, which was nice and surprising to see. So I was happy about that. And I can fit the guy in there. I might paint up the cab actually. I was thinking about that because it's got some nice details. I like that thing moves up and down. I got to put the exhaust stack back in it. I cut that off just to make it easier to put the cab back in, and I might just glue it up into the back piece and be done with that. But yeah, other than that, I got this one, and I was thinking about the other day if this was going to be like my last conversion, and I don't think it will. But I don't plan on doing a lot more after this. But the one thing I've been noticing a lot, well, I've noticed it for a while, but is the dump trucks, the Mack dump trucks. They're just, I had my skid steer out and made a video the other day where I had that tree that I ripped out and I put it in the back of the truck, and the scale's just too big for compared to the skid steers. I don't even know if the skid steers are 116 or if they're 118, but the dump trucks are probably like a 114 or something. And I just noticed that I've seen them before, the Die-Cast Masters, the red 116 scale Freightliner dump trucks. They're just a really nice looking dump truck, and I really like them. But I only like how they look. I think otherwise electrically, I think they're just haywire, too fast. It's pointed out to me they don't have suspension. But I think there's a lot of potential there if I redid one. So I might actually look at redoing. I have to get one first, and then I might rip it apart. And I think I have enough stuff at home that I can actually convert one out without having to break the bank too much. But I would like to. I'd like to maybe redo one of those and then have that as my dump truck, because I think there's a bit better scale. And it's nice when I can have my skid steers, like my skid steers lift very high, and to a point where there shouldn't be any issue with being able to clear a dump truck. And the only reason they can't clear the dump truck is because the scale's just not the same. So I'd like to get a new one and maybe try and really rebuild one, and then it'll be good to go. But that's down the road, way down the road. I'm not in a rush for that. I'm still gonna tinker around with this thing and get it all up to snuff. But I'm gonna have oodles of fun with this thing once that's all finished up. So I'm looking forward to getting it out on the track. So I figure maybe the next video I do of the track, or the one after that, I think should probably have the 308 in it, and then I can start doing some work, because I got project behind the excavator there that I'm wanting to start working on, and this is the excavator I want to use for it. Yeah, with my other models, and I actually don't really plan on using the Volvo too much unless I need it for like stacking blocks. But I really like using my own models rather than the store-bought ones, just because I just like what I've built, and I'm proud and happy of them with them, and I like using them. And so the Volvo might kind of get put on the back burner a little bit more. But again, the only reason I really need to use it is if I needed to stack lock blocks or something like that, because if this thing wasn't able to lift them or something like that, I'll have to see. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of the plan of attack, is to get this thing to be my main excavator with my other Brooder models, and then maybe just get a little bit more of a right scaled dump truck out there, and then I would be, I don't know, I wouldn't not use the Max anymore. I just would feel like I wouldn't have a lot of use for them. So we'll see. But yeah, just for right now, I'm pretty happy with it. So that's not bad there. Oops. This one's a bit more spastic, I find. That's okay if I throttle it down. I think the thread's bumping into the tube a little bit there, and that's what makes that noise. And I gotta put some stuff in there to stabilize the motors a little bit, just to kind of make them a little bit less moving around like that. They need to move a little bit, but I want to kind of sort those out so they don't have so much slop in them, I guess is a good word to use. So yeah, there we go. There's the 308 to this point. It all moves and track right there. And yeah, good to go. Been a fun model, and a nice conversion actually. It was not too bad to get open, and there's some nice bit of space in it, so I like it. Okay, thanks for watching all 22 minutes and 23 minutes of that. Appreciate you listening to me ramble on. Hey, have a good day. Thanks for watching.